Good morning, third graders of Mrs. Stewart's class. I am Mr. P, and today I am going to show you how to paint the sea turtle that you created this week. Okay, see right here, I have my paints laid out here. My browns, greens, and aquas. Everything related to the colors that we're going to be coloring our sea turtle. Now, for a few little tips on how to color the sea turtle. First, we're going to color the bigger areas, which would be the hands, the head, and this other hand. This will be all one color, and then this right here will be one color too. So when you first start paint, the best thing to do is, my advice is to start off coloring the big parts first, and then the other areas second. So when you paint, hold your paintbrush like this up top. That way you can get better strokes when you paint instead of side to side. So I'll demonstrate. Also, when you start painting, the best thing to do is start with the borders first, and after you do the borders, color everything else in the middle. So we'll begin. Get a good shot here. We're gonna begin with the hands first, and the hands are usually gonna be some kind of green. So I'm gonna dip a paintbrush, just dip in here, and after that, the little residue, little drips, come up the side, so that way they won't spill everywhere. And now I said I'm gonna start the board first. So first start around the border. Board. And get some more paint, dipping in there. And then the board. And after that, you just fill everything in. Just fill it all in now. Get some more paint. Fill everything in. I'll go back to filling in later on, but that's how you do it. Now, the next thing would be the head. And the head is the same thing. We'll first do the borders, same color as the arms. First, the border. And this way. And this way. You're gonna get a lot of paint on your hands, or it comes off very easily. Same thing here around here, the border. And the border here. And now we'll just fill everything in the middle. And you just continue to fill it in. I'll go back to that later. Now, the same thing as his around his shell, this whole area. This is all gonna be one color. And for me, I'm gonna get a different paintbrush. And I would probably paint this maybe a little grayish. I like the idea of that. And then start right here again, the border around it. The board. And the border. And continue the border here too. And then fill everything in afterwards. And continue doing this until you finish the outside, this border. Now comes the shells. The shells will be a variety of different colors. For me, I probably like to use brown in one of the shells, and then maybe a light green in one of the shells, and then continue switching brown, light green, brown, light green. And once again, start the border again. The border. Right here. Now that it's smaller, it's going to be a little easier to fill in. Smaller squares. So see how fast that was. And then the same thing if I pick another one. I like to make this one brown. This one brown, this one brown. And so forth. Now, I like to rotate and make this one some kind of greenish. So I'll get this kind of green right here. And part this once again around the border. Around the border. And so you don't need to be perfect. Just color, make sure you just paint it all in. And then same thing around here. I'm gonna do this one next. Gentle strokes, and then just fill it all in. Now, the last thing we're gonna do will be the water. The water is the last thing we're gonna be doing. And the water can be any kind of bluish you want. I decided I'm gonna make this a little aqua, give this an aqua look. So I'm going to paint this a little blue. Now, first, before you paint the water, I would let it dry a little bit because it's gonna, you don't want to get paint all over your hands. So give it a few minutes, let it dry, and after it dries, start off again. So pretend, just wait 10 minutes later. Here we are 10 minutes later. Now we'll paint the blue. And the blue, give it a good aqua look. This sea turtle mine is going to be swimming in the Gulf Coast, where the water is very aqua-like. For those who know what the Gulf Coast is, it borders the southern states of Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. That's the Gulf Coast. Okay, let me just gently paint this. This is the eyeball right here. This is gonna be a white. And just paint that, and then fill it all in. Fill it, everything in. Fill it all in. So that'd be the water. And this part here, just like so, this is the eye. The eye for me is going to be. I'm going to give it some kind of white. So I'll fill in the white. Just going to put the border around it. You can see my little brush is a little green because I'd used it previous. Sometimes get a little another brush. So cover up all the white, or you could just get another layer and put it around it too. And I would say that's it. This right here would be the pupil. The pupils would be I give it a black. I don't have a black color with me, but you're just filling this with black. So that's it. You just continue doing that. Continue painting this side with the fin. Other fin would be green. This would be this other kind of greenish, and then you just continue filling in these with the brownish and the light green, and continue. And after that, you'll be completed. You'll be done. That concludes my lesson. Thank you very much. Have a good day.